that I used to cut out some little shapes, okay? So this is gonna be a melted snowman on an acrylic round. We're gonna walk through that whole thing, but we're gonna have a large piece, and then while we're here, I'm gonna cut this smaller piece. So we had a large piece and a small piece, and then we're gonna have a little snowman head, and on his head, we're gonna use some black paint to kind of make his eyes and his mouth. And then we're gonna cut a teeny tiny little nose from some orange. And we have, I got this out of my little scrap bin for a little hat. So we're gonna have a hat, and I'm gonna nip a little bit of a scarf from this little scrap of red. So basically we're doing this with a bunch of little scrap pieces. And this is literally a piece of scrap too. It's sheet glass that I bought at Hobby Lobby, wherever you buy your sheet glass from, or you could even just paint that on here if you didn't have that. But I like the glass. First thing I'm gonna do is nip out this piece and show you how I do that. So it's like the bottom round melted, the second round melted, and then we'll put his head on top. Then we'll situate all his little goodies, add a little, a few other little things and get started. But here's the first thing I wanna do, okay? I'm gonna push this up here. I want to add some snow text to my snowman because he's in the snow and melting. And so before I do that, these acrylic rounds come with plastic on both sides, okay? So the first thing I wanna do is peel off the plastic on one side, just the side we're gonna be working on. Now you're gonna keep the plastic on the back, and you're gonna just peel that off when the project is dry. Does that make sense? So take off scrapperettes. That's right, Mary. We'll add that to my Cindyisms. So take off one side and make sure, and what you can do so you don't forget if you're fiddle farting around, is take a little piece of tape, and on the side that you're not peeling off, just put a little tape on it. Just put a little tape in an inconspicuous spot so you know not to do your arts on that side, okay? So we're gonna peel off this side so we have a nice clean surface. Can we see that with white on white? Let me see if I can put something so we can kind of see. I'll use my pad. So we can kind of see what we're doing. All right, so the very first thing I want to do is put a little bit of snow text on here. So Amazon. If you're a member, all these links will be in your supply list. So I'm gonna just grab a palette knife, a little plastic one, and I'm gonna put a little bit of snow text on my round, and we are gonna let that dry while we do some other things, okay? Snow text. If you're a member, all of these products are gonna be in your supply list. You know that. Y'all know that. All right, just a wee bit of snow text, and I'm just gonna kind of spread it around on my round, on my acrylic. We'll get a little bit of that, and hopefully let that dry a little bit. I don't want it to get too thick because it will take forever to dry. I do have my heater on at my feet, so I'm gonna throw it down on the floor in front of my heater and we'll get it dry fast. So I wanna spread that snow text so I have a mound of snow. You could cover the entire ornament if you want, but I'm just gonna make a spot. Like he's just melting away. I'm gonna spread it down a little bit, kind of thin it out. And now we're gonna set that aside to dry while we cut our little melted belly. All right, so let me set this down here. We'll get some heat blowing on that. 1 second. Get some heat going on that little sucker. And so here is, you can see I had just a little square of glass, probably 2 inches-ish. And thank you, Rennie. And we are going to cut out one of these pieces. I already cut out one. So what I did was take just a small piece and then draw on the shape that I wanted to cut out with just a marker. And I'm going to grab my little grid, and we're going to use our wheeled nippers, snap, 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 to just bite away all the way around this little piece, okay? And you're going to want to make little baby nips, okay? I'm going to get this started, right? So you're going to just take little tiny bites. I'm going to stand up. If you can't see what I'm doing, let me know. I'm going to try to stay right in the middle. So I'm going to take my wheeled nippers, and I'm just going to take little bites so I have an irregular shape all the way around, following the marker line, okay? So just bite it, and then we're going to go in a little and take a little bite, just little nips. If you go in and try to do a great big nip, it could break like the way you don't want it to. So you're gonna take little bitty ones, all right? I'm just gonna keep going, little bites, especially in the areas where you're trying, like right here, where I'm trying to go in a little and make that irregular. I'm just going to kind of go in and take a little bite. Little baby bites. Teeny weeny. Itty bitty. Just keep turning and taking little nips. I know it's a little time consuming, but it's the only way to get these. Where are my gloves? That's a good question. That is an excellent question that I have no answer to. Well, I do. They're behind me. And yeah, there's that. All right, I'm going to nip a little bit here just to kind of give myself an irregular pattern. So it's not, I don't want a perfectly round shape. I want it to be like it melted. All right, I think I'm done. All right, so we'll do that. And now I'm going to take my stone and I'm going to soften those edges all the way around, right? You can use a brick, you can use a soft sanding, diamond bit sanding sponge, or you can use this as like a knife sharpening stone. If you buy my toolkit, there's a little mini stone in there with it. All right, and then I can just wipe off that marker with my thumb. See? Just wipe it off. Boo, boo, boo. All clean. All right, so now we have a large piece and then a little small body piece, and then we have a little head, so it makes more sense that he's a little melted snowman. Now let me get rid of this. That's right. Do as I say, not as I do. You have to take responsibility for your own self, don't you? All right, so super, super cute. Where'd my ornament go? Is it invisible and I just don't see it? What did I do with it? Do y'all see it? Am I crazy? Oh, y'all, guess what? It's on the ground drying, right? Yes, I'll tell you this right now while I'm gonna paint the little face, and I will tell you guys right now, our sale, this is the first time we have ever had a sale on everything in our store. So let me tell you what that's about, all right? We're having a sale and everything in our store is on sale. You can get 20% off. This is black paint. You can get 20% off of glass strips, bubbles, anything in our glass products, resin, I said glass strips, glass chips, all that stuff, 20% off. DIY kits, 20% off. We still have our summer snowman kit. We still have a few of these left. I'd love for you to go grab one. 20% off of that. We have 20% off of our Rudy reindeer kit. We have 20% off of our ornament kit. There's 4. I don't know what happened to the 4th one. It's MIA. Oh, here it is on the floor. So we have 20% off of our ornament kit, which is 4 cute little ornaments. Let's see. We have 20% off our Amazing Grace cross kits. We have 10% off of our brushes and our tool kit and our palette knife set, and 20% off of any finished art on the Art Shattered page. You do not need a code. It comes off automatically, but the sale ends at midnight tonight. And we stop anything ordered after midnight will not ship until January. That is our cutoff day, our cutoff time. That gives us 2 days to finish filling orders before we take our Christmas break for 2 weeks. All the girls have 2 weeks off for the holidays, okay? And that is paid, thank you very much. I love my girls and I try to take care of them. We're gonna give them 2 weeks off. So you do not need a code, 20% off everything in the store except for tools. Tools are 10% off. Go grab your stuff before midnight, including resin. Go grab that before midnight so that you don't miss out on that fantastic deal, all right? All right, so what I'm gonna do with black paint is I'm just gonna put the end of my paintbrush in the black, and I'm gonna make 2 eyes, and I'm not going to try to make them perfect because keep in mind, this is a melted snowman. So these are his eyes, and I'm gonna make them kind of wonky. I'll do 1, and then I'm gonna bring this one kind of over here so it's a little off and a little wonky. All right, and then we're gonna do a few little things for his mouth, and I'm just gonna make him a little wonky on his mouth as well. We'll wipe that off. Now we're gonna set this aside to let it dry while I nip his cute little nose. All right, so I have a little scrap of orange. All right, so I'm gonna use my nippers again. Let me pull this over here. I'm gonna use my nippers again to make a little nose. Now this is gonna be the tiniest nose ever, okay? So I'm gonna make it about less than a half, maybe about a 1/4 inch. I don't know if that's a 1/4 inch or not. I think what I'm gonna do first is make a point. So I've got this real skinny piece of glass. First thing I'm gonna do is make a little point. I'm gonna nip off and make a point like a pencil, all right? So you have a point, can you see that? Let me put my hand there. See, it's like got a little point on it. Now before I go any further, go Judy, I'm gonna go ahead and just hone this because that's a pretty sharp point and I don't wanna poke myself, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is just nip that off right where it starts. And now we have a cute little nose, right? So we're gonna use that nose, and then we're gonna use the hat just like it is, because this was already in my box. And so we're just gonna use that hat just like it is. It's just a little tiny scrap of black that is like a rectangle, and then just the bill, the little hat bill. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is his scarf. So I just have a little nip of red, and I just want it to be smaller. So I'm gonna take my wheeled nippers, and at an angle, I'm gonna nip off a small baby piece. See how tiny it is? We need 2 of those. I'm gonna put that there. So let's nip off kind of at an angle. so it's irregular. Another tiny little piece. Then I'm gonna take and kind of hone that little point so it don't poke me. So now we have a little nose. I feel like I need to nip the nose a little more. We have a hat. Right? We have a hat. We have a little bit of scarf. We have a nose that I think is too big, so I'm gonna just take a little teeny nip off of it. There we go. Little nose. And what's left? Gotta have arms. So this is just a piece of floral. I've used these 1,000 times in projects for the fall. So this is just a little floral stem. And I think all I'm gonna do for arms is cut 2 little pieces off, maybe, I don't know, let me think, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And 3/4 of an inch. And this is wired, so you can bend it or do whatever. Just make it kind of funny, irregular. And we are ready to construct him now. What we're gonna use on his belly are seed beads, okay? These are black, size 8 seed beads for his belly. But let's go ahead, let's see if our snow text is dry. Let me check it. It is not, but it's really, really close. So I think we're gonna move ahead just for, yes, I have all the wine bottles are on sale as well. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and move ahead because time constraints, we can't wait forever, right? You turn that heater off before I die of heat stroke. So I'm gonna take the bottom piece, right? We nipped the small one, the bottom was pre-nipped, and I'm just gonna press it down into the snow. Just press it in. Now I'm gonna take the next piece and I'm gonna put just 1 little drop of glue just to kind of hold it together until we resin. Put 1 little drop of glue, and then we'll put this piece right on top of the bottom piece. You can situate that however you want. And then next, I'm gonna place a little dot of glue, and we're gonna put our little white floral bead, and we're gonna stick that. I'm gonna get that close to the bottom so I can kind of fit my hat in. I'm gonna press that. Now, I think, let me see if this hat's gonna fit. We're gonna do, whoop, the little hat. I don't think it's gonna fit. I'm gonna nip it down a little bit so it's smaller and so it fits better. Let's see if that works. I made it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna move this down, this down. I'm gonna put some glue on here. We're gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. Hey, Mary. So this glue had some gunk on it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of glue kind of close to his head. And you don't even have to put the hat here. You could put, he's melting, so you could put the hat in the snow if you wanted to. I'm gonna make it kind of crookedy, so it's not perfect. We'll put that in there. I'm gonna put a little dot. Actually, I think I'm gonna put his nose down here because it fell off. I'll put his nose. Bless him, look, his whole nose fell off. He can't even breathe. I got arms. I'm gonna just put his arms. Just put this stuff wherever makes you happy, okay? I'm gonna put one there and one there. And these are, like I said, these are just little pieces of floral stuff. I'll put one there and one there, just glue. Boom, boom. This is so cute. Now we have his scarf. So I think I'm gonna put his scarf, I'm just gonna press it into the snow text down here at the bottom. Not even perfect, like it just fell off. Look how stinking cute that is, y'all. OMG. Look, that is so cute. He is really cute. I love him. Okay, so while this is still smushy, some of it's completely dry, but a little bit of it is still smushy, but that's okay. I think on somewhere over here, I'm gonna add 3 of these black seed beads, just where his belly, look, hang on. I should have made him a little higher, but it's too late now. He is where he is. And we'll see if I can push him up just a little. Push him up, push him up. Now I'm gonna grab his scarf, move it up a little. And I'm gonna take 3 of these beads and just toss them. These are like the beads for his belly. He is still smiling. Those are his little belly beads that fell off. We're gonna add some clear beads too after we resin. But those are the little beads that fell off his belly. We can't leave that out, can we? He's so cute. So stinking cute. All right, guys, check him out. I love him so much. Let me get his nose right. Oh, sorry, I got out of vision, didn't I? Hang on. I'm trying to reconstruct, position a few things. All right, so check him out. He is stinking so cute. So now all we have to do is resin. And remember, we still have plastic on the back. So we're gonna resin, and then tomorrow when he's dry, we'll peel off, oh, there's something on here. We'll peel off the back of the resin and put a little ribbon in where the tie is, in the little hole. So he is so stinking cute. So all we're gonna do now is, let me put my glue top back on and my paint, get my colors lined up so I know what I used. And resin. And literally, I wish I could use the other 1/8 of an ounce that I used last night. And there's some crystal luster seed beads we're gonna use. But I'm gonna make the smallest amount I can make in this is 1/4 ounce. So I'm gonna mark my cup, I think. I'm gonna mark my cup for an 1/8 ounce of hardener and an 1/8 ounce of resin. 1/8 ounce, let me see. 1/8 ounce of hardener, and then resin, hardener, resin, teeny tiny amounts, and we will, gloves, sorry, sidetracked, distracted. We'll get our gloves on. Thank you, Catherine. Hello, Marsha. Marsha. I know you hate that, Marsha. You probably have heard that your whole life. And it's probably so stinking annoying. I'm gonna try to get a little closer, right? So let's use our hardener, and this is just gonna take the tiniest amount. So 1/8 of an ounce of hardener. And that is all there already. Boom. And 1/8 of an ounce of resin. Woo, be easy. Easy, just one little squeeze. I'm trying to be gentle. And I'm gonna stir this for 3 minutes. Catherine is gonna time me. And while she is stirring, I will try to answer any questions that you guys have, okay? So I'm gonna push that aside. I'm gonna stir gently, thoroughly, scraping the sides and the bottom for 3 minutes. So if you have a question, pop it in the comments and I will do my very best to answer any questions you have. And while you're typing those in, I'm just gonna remind you one more time that our sale ends at midnight. Sprinkling is like sharing. Hopefully I don't get jammed up for that. It is like hitting that one button that lets you tell everybody else that you're watching, okay? Let's see, I've never had too much resin. Oh my gosh, it's going so fast I can't keep up, hang on. Let's see. It's a 4-inch round, I'm sorry. It is a 4-inch round. The hole is big and I'm gonna apply it to my surface and then I'm gonna pull it out. And you can just take a toothpick or something if any gets in that hole, but it's a pretty big hole. I don't know if you can see that. It's a pretty big hole. So it's really easy to keep it out. Just use a toothpick to clear it. Could you use modeling clay to roll out the body pieces if you don't? Absolutely, Sherry. That's a great idea. You could definitely do that. Or you could just paint. You could use paint or even heavy body paint and just blob it on there and spread it out and let it dry. That would be perfect. So, and these would work on a 3-inch or a 4-inch round. So don't get bogged down by the size. And these little gems, like the one that I'm using for his face, you can get those all day long at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Marla, I wouldn't do that if I wasn't on a live. I would let that dry thoroughly. So if you're going to be making this and selling it or gifting it, I would let that dry thoroughly before you resin. But for the sake of demonstrating, I'm just going to move on, all right? Because I don't care. If it messes up, if it doesn't dry correctly, nobody will be the wiser. I'll just put it on my mama's Christmas tree and she'll be happy. But yeah, I would let the Snow Tex dry completely before you do the resin and stuff. Absolutely. Look at all those sprinkles. Catherine said time, so I wasn't very good about stirring the whole time. So I'm going to give myself a few more seconds. I'm going to scrape and stir one more time. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take something and put underneath. I'm actually going to use my Snow Tex, right? I'm going to put this on my little Snow Tex bottle. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do too. I don't know if this is going to turn out fantastic or not, but if you sprinkle and tell your friends you're here watching this lovely melted snowman art, I will gift this to somebody who sprinkles, okay? Absolutely. You can use whatever you have. You don't have to use the acrylic. You can use a wood ornament, anything that you have available, okay? You just want to make sure you paint it first. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to drizzle this resin right over my little snowman. And make sure I get those beads and that red scarf. Make sure I get his little arms so they're stuck down really good. We don't want any of his parts falling off of the Christmas tree now, do we? All right, so let's get his little nose. We'll make sure his face is nice and covered. Now you're probably gonna be able to make at least 2 of these with a 1/4 ounce, maybe even 3, because I have used hardly any of this. All right, so be prepared to make multiples with a 1/4 ounce. All right, I'm gonna just spread it around the rest of my disc. I've used about half of it, so I've used about 1/8 ounce. Now I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna kind of, because my snow tax is not fully dry, I'm just gonna pat it with my finger so I don't smear it around. All right, I'm just going to pull it, pop, pop, pop with my finger. I need to add a little resin there, but right now I'm gonna spread it all the way to the top, and there's no resin in that hole, so I don't have to worry about that. Spread it to my edge. And we don't worry about drips because it has plastic on the back that we're gonna keep intact until it's completely dry. All right, so let's spread it. I'm gonna take a little bit more resin and hit some of the spots on the snow that I missed. Just a few, I'm gonna smear that there. And I got a little bit here, a little bit here. And if I miss a little spot, it'll be fine, right? It's fine, it's handmade art. Y'all know me, I do not strive for perfection. There are certain things that I like to be perfect, but this is art and not meant to be perfect, but especially a melted snowman, right? That is right. All right, so I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun and pop any bubbles that might be showing. All right, done. And I am gonna take, these are some crystal luster seed beads left over that were already in my cup. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some around the snow and around my ornament, just wherever my little heart desires. Just to add some sparkle to our little snowman. Let's go around here a little. All right, let's see, I got a few in here that might be stuck. Just a few little seed beads. Now I'm gonna take this tape off the back. Oops, that's trying to take off the plastic too, so I'm gonna go this way. So we can see him in all his glory. Look how cute, and there's absolutely no resin in the ribbon hole. Look how stinking cute that is. Is that not adorable? Our little melted snowman. And don't forget to pull the plastic off of the back when it's dry. So cute. Look at that. I'm gonna leave him on the snow tax to dry. And I see a few, I'm gonna take these gloves off. And I'm gonna grab my pick, my bead awl, because I see a few little, like it's probably snow tax. I'm gonna wipe that on my glove. A few little white blobs that are probably snow tax for my fingers. And I feel like I wanna add a few more seed beads. I feel like there's not enough. So I think, let me see. Let me grab some seed beads. Oh, let me scrap whatever I can get my hands on. Let's tap in a few more seed beads just for fun. All right, so yeah, these are the crystal luster. Just gonna tap in a few more. Whoops. To make it super sparkly. Oops, get down there where you belong. Weren't quite enough in my little cup from last night. All right, I think I'm happy now. They're going everywhere. All right, Now I'm happy. That's right. Cannot have too many seed beads. We have to have all the seed beads. So let me pick this up again so you can kind of see. I'm going to put it on my hand so you'll be able to see. Look how adorable. Yes, the plastic cover comes on the front and the back. So peel off one side and then do your art piece on the side you peeled off. And then the next day, you're going to peel off the back. That'll keep any drippage from sticking on the back.